Before we get out of there, was your grandfather and grandmother the same kind of people? I mean, they were very cold and there was no affection, there was no, the kids behaved a certain way. Was your grandfather's house run like your house was, basically?
I'll tell you, one thing I'll tell you, that my mother was the oldest daughter and she was obligated to support her parents, and the sisters were poor and they had to come again to that older sister. And always it was between them, we didn't hear that, very seldom we hear that my mother said, what do you want? I don't have so much. I support my grandfather and grandma, my mother and father. What do you want from me? So always was problem of money.
Money. So
yeah.
They always looked for a hand.
Yeah, not
looked to be taken care of.
Yes, my father and mother took care. Yeah, my mother was a very good daughter. And I'll tell you, she plainly didn't have the poor woman time for us. Only we were very beautiful, provided with everything.
It was different times, I guess. I listen.
Listen, maybe
a kid needs
in Poland,
needs an affection. A kid needs a
so we didn't.
sense of.
I am a better grandmother than my mother was a mother. Yeah. And my grandmother, she has grandchildren. I don't know, maybe if she showed us affection, that I didn't know what it is.
You didn't know what it was?
No, I don't think my grandma once gave me a kiss. No, the kisses, no. And between us, we talked when we had to ask something. That's all. We talked. I had friends. I had from the school. I had friends outside.
So did you keep any of your friends through that times, or no?
No, we lost everything, and Hitler came. The Germans came in.
It's 1941. Russians took over. The Russians came into your city.
Yeah. Or 1940, maybe 1940, if I'm not mistaken.
For a while, so your father lost his
few
business to
years.
The Russians. The Russians took it over because they were communists.
It was the communist. We were very poor.
So you lost all.
Yes.
That you had.
My mama was such a nice lady that our relatives of my father, you don't know, only I was there in, I forgot the name of the city, I'll remember. They ran from Russia to Kishinev. These people from the communist country, they ran to Bessarabia, to Kishinev, a family, a cousin of my father, that they looked for the people, the communists looked for the people to catch them, that they live a communist country. So you know what happened? He was in a, I can't say, that man was, at that time when my mama had the baby, the first baby, and he stayed with us, and after that his family, I don't know, with one child or two children, came too, clandestine, you know, not like clandestine, you know what clandestine is?
Yeah,
and
secretly.
Yeah, and my mama was at that time very poor. We had nothing. We lived by grandpa in the house. They stayed with us, and mama went and bought, that always was told us, that they bought, mama went and bought material, stuff, and sewed dresses for those kids when they were naked and poor, and from us, they left at that time to Palestine. That family had I don't know who took him to Palestine, or maybe he was allowed to travel, and they left, and they never forgot, because Shlomo.
Oh, that's the family that you were in touch with,
and they had kids in a kibbutz in Ein Harod, and they lived in. Oh, Mama, take a look. I went with Joseph. There, he was a baby, a little baby, maybe 2 years
Oh,
old.
that's right, I remember you
And
telling the story.
he had a diarrhea there. It was very hot, and I had to go home. The old man, the old man came to the Ma'abara where we stayed, and looked for me, looked for us, and he couldn't find us because I don't know where I was with Joseph, and after he said that he is so much obligated to
Yeah.
my family
Yeah.
that he has to reciprocate.
I
And-
understand.
and then-
All right, so now let's go back to, so the Russians came in, you lost your business, you lost everything. You were about, how old were you? With high school then, or you were-
No, I just finished high school. I was
You just
18,
finished high school.
18 years old.
And what was expected of you when you finished school? I mean, was there anything that
Nothing,
was expected?
nothing
of
like
you?
your daughter.
Yeah, and,
Girls didn't go to work.
yeah,
If that would be a normal life, Papa would look for a very good provider, a shidduch for this daughter. You understand?
and your brothers were at home still?
Oh, everything, brothers. Herschel was
Oh,
maybe
you-
13.
You were the oldest. No,
No,
your
no.
brother was the
Yeah,
oldest.
he was at if I was 18, he was 19.
Okay, so now the Russians came, you lost your business, now you said your father got you guys together and you left.
Yeah, because we ran from the
So-
city that the
so
Germans
Rush-
came in.
When the Germans.
Germans came.
Through the Russians though, you stayed.
No,
Give
to
me
the-
some time idea here.
of course.
This was
We
1940.
stayed, we were very poor, we lived in our house. They took away the apartments that my father had. He took away everything,
The Russians.
the mill, yeah. That was said that he had property and it went to the government. And we,
So that was around what year? 1940, 41?
40.
40. So that lasted for, when did the Russians leave your town, your city?
The German occupied the place.
So
The
now
Germans came
the
in.
Germans got finished with Poland,
You know when
and they started marching on Russia.
yes, and they start marching on Kishinev too. And what happened?
How they got to Kishinev? Isn't Kishinev all the way in the south by the...
You know what? I didn't even know the difference. He occupied Romania at that time. They occupied Romania with part of Romania. Bukovina was part of Romania, but part was Austria.
So you're more on the east. You're more Eastern Europe. You're more...
It was the most richest country, I mean the Bessarabia, because it was very good grant, the herd, but was given, we had everything
stuff, yeah.
compared. They used to take from us, we were considered the rich people.
All right, so the Germans started marching on your city.
We didn't see the
You didn't
Germans.
see Germans. You
We
just
saw
knew
only
that
the-
they coming.
They coming, we ran away. We ran away from home and we stayed
How?
by...
I mean, what happened? Because I remember there was some circumstances there.
Yeah,
where
so listen,
tell us about
my
that
papa, my
your
papa
father came home one day and decided, or this was a plan?
decided because it was talk that they're gonna kill us all.
The Jews, as
Yeah,
Jews.
as Jews.
You knew about the Jewish problem already. I mean, you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
From Poland. Poland was taken in
you knew already
1939.
The Jews that.
So far, maybe. Papa took us all to one of the people that he did business with. I mean, again, the people that were in business with Papa,
They had a
non-Jewish.
connection. You had
And
a going.
those yeah, he loaded a car that we had horses and a very big car for business.
Yeah.
So there were no cars. This was
So you mean you loaded up a wagon,
a big one.
big wagon?
You can see when you see the people that have those cars. He loaded with what he could, and he took all of us to that guy.
And
and
where
he-
was this? In what city? Was it close to where you were, or far from where you were, or what?
No, I don't know. Maybe 10 kilometers. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's all. I mean,
No, I don't. I
short
really
distance.
don't know. And there we stayed for a while.
How long a while?
Maybe 2 months. And they
So you hid over there? I mean, they were going, they hid you? Or?
no, God forbid. That was Papa paid, and they knew us. We were like friends, like family. They kept us, and when we saw that, and the Germans started to bomb Kishinev, to throw bombs, because the front of the war came from through Bessarabia to the bridges and to Poland. I really don't know exactly. I know only one thing, that we became Abba picked us up all with what we were was on us, and he bought a sack of bread. I shall tell you, really a sack with bread.
Wait a second. You were at these people's houses already.
Yeah.
And the bombing started happening.
And we started to go toward the border between Russia and Bessarabia.
Which was west, or, I mean, you went away from the front, from the Germans. The Germans were coming from the east.
Yes,
So you were heading towards
Russia, because in Russia wasn't no war.
Not yet. It
No,
wasn't,
they used to send bombing aeroplanes, and they bombed, and we were standing and waiting to pass a bridge. Me, my mama, my papa, all of us, the kids, in an auntie with 2 children, and they had nothing.
Wait a second. Before we get to that, you left your grandmother, and your grandfather was still alive when you left them in Kishinev?
Yes, they took them out, and officially I tell the story that I went with my grandmother and grandfather to that camp where they were. Zasul Lagid.